Okay, welcome to our first tutorial blog. You're going to be able to find most of these here at Elton Jenkins Attorney at Law under eltonjenkinslaw.com, and probably the best place to go is hit the blog button, and that's going to give you a few different tabs here. This is where I'm going to post these. I'm going to try to put some on Facebook too. I'm also going to have a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. Most of these things are going to be helpful things for you to have as potential clients or just people faced with a criminal charge or a loved one with a criminal charge. The first thing we're going to be talking about today is Oklahoma Supreme Court Network. It is www.oscn.net. Type that into your browser here, and this is an extremely powerful website that was made by the Oklahoma Supreme Court. It's going to be where all of your dockets are. When the court clerk gets a piece of paper from us, they type it in, and this is where everyone, attorneys, judges, clients, everybody goes to see what has happened in a court date. It's going to have a whole bunch of information. It goes back to the 90s. The court clerks are, whenever they get something, it goes directly onto here, so it's almost as good as talking to a court clerk themselves. It's got several things: judicial biographies, not really that important. Legal research we're going to talk about, court records we're going to talk about, forms mostly for attorneys, I wouldn't bother in here. Case search is also going to be interesting. Careers, I wouldn't bother. E-payments, wouldn't bother. The main one we're going to focus on today is going to be searching of records. So if you click on that, it's going to bring you to the dockets. If you have a case number, you can type it in right here. CF, for example, is going to be criminal felony. CM is going to be a criminal misdemeanor, and if you know that, that's great. For example, if you're looking up a misdemeanor and the case number is 2011 and it's the 17th case number, all you would need to do is type in an 11-17 and make sure that you get your proper county here. I'm out of Cleveland County most of the time, so that should bring us to somebody. I don't know this gentleman, which is good, but it helps us get to this page. Jonathan Clanton, that's going to be what they officially have him under. You can click under here if you're just wanting to snoop. It's going to give you some basic information. I don't like that they put addresses on here, but they do. Birth date, that's probably not good, but probably need to talk to the Supreme Court about that. You can see who arrested them, which is kind of important for an attorney because different agencies do things differently, and some of them do them better and some of them do them worse. This gentleman had a misdemeanor docket scheduled. This is who he was. Obviously, which judge is appointed. Judge Tupper in Cleveland County is going to have all odd number misdemeanors and felonies all the way up through preliminary hearing. Judge Stice is going to have the even ones. This guy was set for a plea and sentencing, so this is a quick reference for the events. You can see here what he's been accused of, and then this is old enough that it's had a disposition, so we know this guy got it deferred. And if you want to take a look at the actual statute of what the crime is they're talking about, that's important. You can see here if this is highlighted in a color, you can click on it and come down here. And on your PCs, it's going to be a little bit different, but on mine, you click on it, you can see what someone's actually charged with. It's got a few little information. Don't like that they do this, but they do. But you can see exactly what it is. If there's a second page on a felony, you can see that too. This is the ticket that the police officer actually wrote. Sometimes that's got some information on it. But the important thing here is that, I'm sorry, let me get to this. The affidavit is extremely important because this is the first time that you or anybody else is going to be able to see what the police officer actually said happened. Not the charge, but what actually said happened. So this is probable cause. It means it's only going to be a summary of what happened. It's not the same thing as the police reports. It's nothing that your attorney can get to and know everything that happened, but we can at least get a rough estimate of what the police officer is saying happened. Let me get back here. Okay, as we go down, anything in green is going to be basically for the, I call it internal, but not exactly because we can see it. But here we can see what his bond was set at, and what bond was posted. And we can also see which bondsman posted it for us. There are going to be some summaries whenever something happened. For example, this person came to an arraignment. Judge Tepper ordered him released on a PR bond, and it was set for this date, February 8th, 2011 at 9 a.m. You can come back and look at February 8th right here and see what happened again. It looks like it got reset. Look like it got reset again. Attorneys will do that to try to get all your stuff done early and maybe get a better deal. To translate this, it's a 1-year deferred, which is going to be in a video that I have later explaining what deferreds and suspendeds are. Victim impact panel, evaluation and follow-up. It's DA supervised, 40 hours community service, and then this is going to be the money part. We'll talk about that in another video, but if you just want to be able to look up and see what happened and what you have to do, here it is. This is an important one. It is a rules and conditions of probation. Clients often will call me and say, oh, I can't remember what I was supposed to do. Well, it's right here. And if it's here, you have to do it. If it's not here, you don't have to do it. You can see on this guy's rules and conditions of probation, can't break any laws, going to have to pay all your fines and judicial assessments, court costs, 40 hours community service, drug and alcohol evaluation, things like that. It also tells you where you need to take it, and it also tells you when you need to have it done, what date you need to have it done by. Keep on going down here. These things are going to be whenever payments are made or charges are made. So you can kind of keep an idea of what's being charged to you and why, and then how late you are. This gentleman got an application for a motion to accelerate, which just means the DA is saying, you didn't do all you're supposed to do. Now you're not going to get the dismissal. We want our prison time or jail time. And then most of the time it has to do with not getting your stuff done unless it's going to be a new violation of the law. And you'll see that the DA is going to quote which rule is the one they think was violated, and then they're going to demand that these things get done before they take any action. First thing that's going to happen is that they don't get their money. They are going to file. If you don't get your stuff done and turn them in, this guy has a community service, drug and alcohol evaluation, victim impact panel. You can't just do them. You have to turn them in to the proper place so they can get reported. Now, your defense attorney on this is probably going to go in and just stall until you can get all this stuff done and ask for the DA to dismiss that so you can still get your case dismissed. You can see here where it's getting set for motion to accelerate, and then you're going to see an ultimate disposition here. In this case, the motion to accelerate was withdrawn. One of the other powerful tools is to go up here to the courts, and this is going to tell you, for example, if you type on or click on Cleveland County, this is going to give you a lot of information. Cleveland County is going to give you a map. This works with all the counties. Each one of these is going to have who the court clerk is, which is very important because when you send in stuff, this is a good place to send it. This is also going to be where you're going to send your money into. You can call this number. This works with any county in the entire state, and they should be available from 8 to 5. You're also going to see which district judges are in charge of these cases. Most of these district judges are going to be in charge of felonies, and as far as criminal goes. And then the special judges in each county are going to be in charge of all misdemeanors in a criminal case and felonies all the way up through a preliminary hearing. So if you have a misdemeanor with an odd number, it would be Judge Tupper. Even number would be Judge Stice. Calling these numbers probably isn't the best thing to do. You should probably have your attorney call these numbers because you probably don't know what to ask and aren't going to get all the answers that you want. Now, I already showed you some of the documents that are available that you can see. Another one that is pretty important is going to be your legal research. And for us as attorneys, this Oklahoma Uniform Jury Instruction is very important because this is a list of all of the crimes in the state of Oklahoma. And instead of it being in legal language that most people can't understand, it's going to be elements. these are going to be the things that the DA has to prove, all of them, for them to be able to get a conviction. So this is almost the first thing in all cases that I look up to find out exactly what the state has to prove. For example, on a burglary in the second degree, they have to prove that there was a breaking, an entering, and it had to have been one of these things, of another, in which property is kept, and the big one is with the intent to steal or commit a felony, and that's going to be at the time of the breaking in to whatever these things are. So this is a very interesting place to go if you are a layperson, because you can see what the state actually has to prove. Very interesting. Need to take a look in here, and just, I'll have people ask me questions about things, and a lot of times you're watching TV and you don't know exactly what the elements are or what the state has to prove. For example, the definition of possession in Oklahoma is you have to know, and it has to be intentional, possess, and it has to be an actual substance. If you have a substance on you that isn't, maybe you bought the wrong stuff and they tricked you, it's not a crime. Possession, if you're wondering what that is, you can come in here and look under here, and it's going to tell you what it is: actual physical custody or knowledge of the substance presence, as well as the power and intent to control. So it's all about intent and control. It's not about where it is, it's about who is controlling it, and it's not about who's owning it, it's about who controls it. But so that's a very interesting thing. If you are charged with something, come and look this up, and then that's what the law actually is. Obviously, if you have any more questions about this, you can contact me at my website. You can always call if you'd like, but if you have any questions about it, you can always come to my website, eltonjenkinslaw.com, click on home. You can send me, well, this is for when you're trying to hire me, obviously, but if you have a quick question and you are not represented, I would be glad to answer them as short as I can, but or give you the information that you need. So always remember eltonjenkinslaw.com. There's going to be tons of stuff that we're going to talk about in the future, and always remember, which is the thing that we're talking about today, OSCN.net. Big resource. Oklahoma is very lucky to have this, and it's keeps us in the century. Even though we live in Oklahoma here, we have an excellent website here. Take a look. Call us if you have any questions.